So there's been a beeping that I've been hearing for the past like 12 hours. I'm pretty sure it's my downstairs neighbor's smoke alarm chirping.
Oh, great.
Yeah, that's fun.
I okay. So like this whole week has been house stuff is not working or we have to fix things. Like I was taking a shower the other day and I suddenly start feeling cold water falling on me even though I'm in a hot shower. And I look up and the ceiling is dripping.
Hmm.
So I go and I get my dad, and I finish showering, I get dressed, I go get my dad. I'm like, hey, I don't know if there's like a broken pipe or something, but the ceiling is dripping cold water. And I think it might be a problem with the pipe because it only happened when we turned the water on. So he turns the water on, and he's like, he sees it suddenly immediately start dripping. He's like, okay, I'm gonna call a guy. And he calls a guy, and later that day, I'm hanging out with a friend of mine, and my dad comes into the room, and he says, "Okay, I don't know which one of us is stupider, but we both missed it. It turns out that the shower head is broken and it's spraying the top of the bathroom. We both somehow missed it.
Wh-
So
Why would it be cold then?
I don't because it was cold when it first started up. Yeah, it's the shower head. It's broken. So we removed that, and I've had to, you know, use a different bathroom for showering and stuff. And later on, my dad and me, we went off to Best Buy because he wanted to get a new sound bar because we have like a TV outside that has a sound bar attached underneath it. Um, so that
Okay.
when we're outside or lounging around or in the pool, we can kind of watch TV from the pool, and it's a really cool setup.
Yep.
And the subwoofer went out, and we need to change that and the sound bar because they're linked, and that's just how it be. So we got this nice big sound bar, and there's these hinges that hang underneath the TV, and you're supposed to kind of screw the thing into those hinges, and then it's just going to rest there. And try as we might, like as much as we possibly could, we could not get it perfectly level under the TV, and it went on for like a half hour of just okay, it's hot, I'm sweaty, this thing has fallen, we lost a screw, the screw was very important, there was a screw in the washer fell in the clamp down below, there's lots of spider webs down there, I gotta get the washer out there, where's the screw, I can't find the screw, we don't know what the screw is, that we got a replacement screw, that screw doesn't work. Then my mom comes over, finds the screw in 3 seconds, and then we're like, okay, it's not gonna be on perfectly, but we can get this soundbar on there. And then, like an hour or so later, my dad calls me back, and we do another Three Stooges act of trying to get this thing going and hitting our heads and dropping the thing almost on ourselves. And yeah,
Zero. I am so sorry that you had difficulties with your swimming pool television accoutrement.
yeah, I know.
It's a rough life.
I really struggled.
The struggles. We all can relate.
I really struggled.
Life is hard.
You wouldn't believe how many TVs are in my house. It's
I'm gonna
stupid.
guess over 10.
Okay, let me count it out
Is it
now.
in the double digits?
There's TV in my parents' room, TV in the guest room, TV in my room, TV in the game room, TV in my brother's room, TV in the family room, TV in the second garage, because that's like the small thing where they made into a gym, and then TV outside. So 8.
So those last two are unreasonable. Everything else sounds pretty normal. Like, I'm surprised you have one in the guest room, but if you use that room often,
It used to be my grandpa's room before he passed.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, that makes sense then. And even the workout room. And if you have a spare TV that's old and you upgraded before, you may as well use it.
That's basically what happens. My dad likes buying new TVs, so whenever we have a spare TV, he makes use of it. Because it's like, oh, we got to get that 4K now downstairs and upstairs. We got to get, those are our movie viewing rooms. We got to get that 4K and the big screen. And then we just rotate the TVs around. That's how we've always done it.
Yeah, that's fair.
So,
and knowing the full context, it's not insane. It's just hearing someone has a TV outside is a little jarring.
Yeah.
You know how many... That was fucking smoke alarm again. Do you know how many TVs a standard British home has? Like 98% of them.
One?
Is it one or two?
It's one.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, when you have my dad's not like, okay, some parents, some dads really like to get like new cars and stuff, right? My dad's thing is TVs.
That is cheaper than cars, so I will give you that.
Yeah, a friend of mine's mom gets a new car, like a new car every year. And I have no idea how to. Yeah.
That must bleed money like that.
It does. She trades in her old ones, but the amount of debt she must rack up is insane. And she's a doctor, so she probably is breaking even, but still.
Like, if memory serves, like, buying a new car, the second you drive it off the lot, it's 1/7 of the value that it was brand new.
Depending on the car, yeah.
Everybody has their sort of thing that they're willing to spend that extra money on, you know? Like my brother, he's always focused on trying to upgrade his car and like make it even cooler and better. My dad is always focused on getting the best sound system and TV because my dad really loves movies.
That's fair.
You know, since that's his passion, that's what he invests in, and thus we end up having a TV in pretty much every room of the house except for the bathroom. But one day,
yeah, it's gonna happen.
I was about to say, how long? How long would you give it until you have a bathroom TV?
The cords don't work. We would have to do some
serious. Okay.
It would be a bit of a a hazard.
It's not that you don't have a spare TV. It's the fact that you need to waterproof it first.
We went and we got a sound bar, and then my dad's like, no, we got to take this sound bar back. It doesn't have DTS sound. We need that DTS sound. It's the highest quality sound. I'm like, okay, Dad, so go take the sound bar back. I don't know.
I have no idea.
But it's the highest quality one.
Down to...
I mean...
Never mind.
Props to him for being passionate, I guess. You know, of the two family members that you just listed, the TV stuff is probably the most sensible.
Like
I enjoy that all the time.
Like I put a lot of time and research into like focusing on more computer stuff and video game stuff, you know. And everybody has their thing. Like we just recently upgraded the downstairs family room to have a freaking really awesome surround sound system. And my parents have the dream goal of turning the game room into like their own little movie theater. But that's not going to happen for quite some time.
Wait, what are they actually missing for it? I mean, it's not actually hard to do that.
We have a big TV there, but there's this like a large bookshelf that takes up the entirety of one wall that's like built in. So we'd have to remove that. We'd have to probably
Or
change.
you could fill it up with movies.
Well, we got movie posters and stuff in there. And
Fill up the bookshelf with movie cases.
it's really, really big, and it is filled up already with a bunch of stuff. But the point is the issue of space and the space that it takes up, because
you want it to be a movie theater, as in it's a room for movies.
Because like it's like a rectangular room, right? And the longest wall is where the bookcase is, and that's where you would probably want to have the screen for the biggest screen. Because otherwise, what happens is the TV is right next to where the doors are, so it has less wall space. And yeah, it just doesn't quite work out the exact way they want it. But we moved the surround sound that was downstairs, which was kind of like, it didn't really work that well in that type of room, and moved it upstairs, which is a more enclosed room, and the sound just way better acoustics in there with that sort of system. TVs. Welcome to the Fandom Flux podcast, I guess.
Yep.
Oh
boy.
I feel bad. I mentioned my house. Just like, you have that many TVs? Like, yeah. So it's my dad's thing. He'll spend a lot of money on TVs. He likes movies and TV. He'll watch The Walking Dead 3 more times on that TV.
I feel a sudden inexplicable urge to pay my taxes.
Pay your taxes. Yeah. I was gonna. What? Did you guys see? I don't know if anybody else would have cared to see it, but talking about like shows and movies and stuff. There was the recent new Marvel show that premiered, and it's called What If?
God was one of us.
It's
Slob like. Yeah, go on.
It's a 3D animated show, and it's all about focusing on like AUs and stuff. But okay. Like the first episode, which happened on Wednesday, was what if Peggy Carter became Captain America? And Steve didn't get the serum injected into him. And that was a pretty interesting little fan fiction-y premise.
I imagine it ends with Steve dying kind of pointlessly.
If
he goes to war at all, like, I feel like even in Days of Conscription he would have washed out without the serum.
It takes some unexpected turns, and a few turns that are a bit contrived, but I guess they were trying to tell their fan fiction the best they could.
It's not promising that you're calling it fan fiction at every turn.
Because it is. It is fan fiction.
I mean, I'm not...
the entire thing is what if. It's all for want of a nail.
Yeah, well, that's not exclusively fan fiction, though. I'm just...
No, I'm kind of on Zero's side on this one. I would have called that fan fiction as well. Just because it's not written down doesn't mean it's not fan fiction.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's a little sideshow, and it's...
If you're going to be like that, then all of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is fan fiction, because all of it's adaptation of stories that other people wrote, but, whatever.
Yeah, technically. But, no, it's a fun little like half hour, you know. Just say, hey, pass the time. It's free on Disney Plus if you already have it, or if you have somebody who pays for it for you. Bum an
I feel like
account.
that's common for most people.
When they're not buying TVs by the truckload, I guess.
You say that, but it's not actually like that often. Like the TV that's in my room, for example, is actually pretty old. It's like
I was about to ask what is the oldest TV you have in your house?
like I don't know, but like I'm thinking somewhere in the realm of like 6 or 7 years old at least.
Is the oldest
Okay,
TV
that's
you have?
in fairness any longer than that, and they tend to break down. Like my TV was
Yeah.
like 8 before it finally died, and by that point I had to take the case off because the weight of the screen hanging in front of the mechanics was the only thing that kept the screen clear.
Yeah,
That
like
was a GIF you just posted.
thank you for that GIF, patient.
I'm not quite sure what it's trying to convey in this conversation, but yeah.
But it's not like we got a TV this year or last year or even the year before that necessarily. It's just, Dad gets a bonus and it's like, you know what? New TV time. I think gets all excited. And I know that when I eventually get my own place, I know who to turn to when asking about what TVs to get.
I mean, as long as you settle in for an hour-long conversation about it, yeah, or more.
Yeah, I feel like okay. I actually, so I just recently completed a rewatch of an old show because I felt like going back and rewatching. I just finished rewatching Code Geass,
Cool.
and yeah, that show's still good. I'm actually watching another old show. Dawn, who you know in the Discord, has never seen Yu Yu Hakusho.
Wow.
So I am taking Dawn through Yu Yu Hakusho. And it's very interesting to go back to that show and see somebody's first reaction to it. Pretty good. Yeah. Except for my week, I guess. Sorry, I started talking and took over, but I felt like I had to mention my innumerable difficulties with the showers breaking and trying to affix sound bars to outside poolside TVs.
I mean, all of that does sound genuinely really irritating to deal with.
It is. It was freaking Three Stooges act. I was so tired by the end of that because it's so hot outside right now, and I don't want to struggle trying to hold this sound bar up for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes while we're trying to just fix this thing on and get it just right and perfect. Which my dad eventually did figure it out, but when I wasn't around, and the day after. But how you guys doing?
I'm gonna go to bed in a couple of hours.
Cool.
I'm not looking forward to that because I'm wearing headphones and I'm quite a bit further away from the beeping sound than my bedroom is. I can still hear it. Yep, that's not gonna be fun.
Is it not a thing to go talk to the person that it's coming from?
If that's been going on all day, they're not home.
That's a good point. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Might have to unplug
suppose
my
it would be-
headphones and just actually wear them to bed. That might be a thing I have to do.
Yeah, I mean, if you have noise dampening anything, go for it. Do you sleep on your back, or can you?
I tend to roll around a lot, so that's gonna be a problem. But whatever.
That's fair.
Boy. So, my week. What did I do for my week? I watched, like I said, a bunch of fucking. Oh yeah, that was a different show. It's not gonna come out for like 2 months. I watched a bunch of YouTube video essays on writing and stuff, and that was fun. I watched that fucking Doctor Who thing like twice.
That was really
twice.
good, and I'll admit, normally I don't. I'm actually familiar with that YouTuber, and I did follow him for quite a while, but his video style got to bother me after a while. But he raised a lot of really good points.
It's a little pompous, yeah, just a little bit. Also, it's her now, by the way.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I watched that a couple times, plus a couple times in the background, because it's 5 hours and it's very easy to just have on the background and not really pay attention to it. But yeah, so that was, generally speaking, actually well spent time, because learning things about writing and characterization and things to constantly keep in mind when I'm doing the writing stuff that I do and get paid for. So I'd better be good at it. Or at least try to be. Aside from that, old school reference. It bothers me that the show has gone on so long that I can call it an old school reference.
Just don't call it that. Don't acknowledge the fact that it's old school. Deny the age.
I started playing Dragon Quest XI S Echoes of something long subtitle.
Okay.
Because I've had the regular game for a long time and have never played it because I was constantly like, but what about the superior version that I would have to spend an extra £30 on? That might be the better. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? I don't really care anymore. I'm not going to play it, is how it would usually go. But I bit the bullet, paid the extra money, and have been playing that game. It is quite good. I have a lot of thoughts on it so far.
Okay.
It is surprisingly British for a Japanese game, which is probably down to localization, but that is also very surprising because most localizations are done in America. So, yeah. All of the characters in the starting town speak with a West Country accent. So, that was a bit jarring at the start, but kind of get used to it eventually. And then I realised that because the protagonist was raised there, he probably talks like this and all. Which was a fun realisation about the silent protagonist, that he talks like a West Country bumpkin, being like fucking, hello there, alright, I'm that there prophesized hero, innit? That there luminary, yeah, that's me.
Such a friendly accent.
It is, it's lovely, but it's just fucking, it's like someone coming to you and claiming to be a prophesized hero, and they sound like from the fucking Bayou or something. Is probably a comparison that Americans might understand.
So I hit up GameStop like a day before you said you had got that game and were enjoying it a lot, and I'm waiting for it to get here in the mail because they didn't have it in stock, and I'm really looking forward to getting it. I bought that on a whim because it would take up a lot of time, but now I'm genuinely excited to play it.
It does take up a lot of time. I will say that much. Bear with me. I'm going to check my playtime. 20 hours so far.
How many days have you been playing the game?
Well, 20 hours worth, obviously.
I mean days. Like, how long have you owned the game?
Where do I find that out? Properties? Is that maybe in there? No, I don't know.
Because when I first bought Persona 4 all the way back on the PS2, I had owned the game for 3 days and I had racked up 40 hours of playtime. So,
Okay.
hours played don't equate to how long.
Thursday. So 3 days.
That's fair. Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's like 6.5 hours per day, basically.
Yeah. And that 20 hours, the game is apparently in 3 acts. I haven't finished the first.
Wow.
Oh, sorry. 3 acts and post-game. Yep.
I've only played one Dragon Quest game to completion, but the end game is pretty satisfying in those games.
It seems it.
Or post game, rather.
From
I
what I have
played-
read about it, it seems like that is the case in this one too, yes.
I played Dragon Quest 11S to completion. That's a good game. That it just the post game isn't even. I wouldn't even call it a post game. It's just more game.
Yeah.
That's fair. But the important question, does it have a Puff Puff Club?
It has several encounters where you can receive Puff Puff, yes.
Yes, you can receive the
Nice.
Puff Puff.
Perfect.
Yeah, so back to the point. Very British. Most of the characters, like most of the regions in the game, do have British accents. There are a couple that are different. One of them is vaguely Middle Eastern-ish. One of them is Western continental Europe, so France, Spain, Italy. And that's about as far as I've gotten, because so much fucking game. And then for some reason one of your party members talks like he's from the fucking Bowery in New York, so I don't know where that comes from. But
Is he from another nation, or is it just
Zero would know better
from
than
down the
I.
block?
But you meet him as like a thief that has hung around in the very British city at the beginning of the game for quite a while. I assume there are hidden depths to his character that I have yet to plumb. But yeah, I don't know what his deal is. He's a fucking New Yorker in fucking Dragon Ball Europe. I don't fucking know.
Basically, yeah. I don't know how I feel about the only American character being a thief. Not
I think that says something.
a little interesting. All right.
It's very weird because like he really stands out, and yet like given his accent, it doesn't make a lot of sense considering the place where he comes from. It's just the actor, I guess, could only do that voice. Was told to do that voice.
Yeah,
I mean, that's fair. All right.
When I first met him, I wasn't sure what his accent was. It sounded like it was supposed to be an English-afflected, like, New York kind of thing. Like, he's supposed to be from one place, but then moved to another, so his accent's been colored by it. But no, the more I listen to it, it's just straight up fucking Bowery. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah. There is the little mage girl who is a legal lolly. I would be having more of a problem with that, but they actually don't play it in that way, so fair enough. There is the priestess type character that doesn't really have much of a character. There is the great Sylvando, who I fucking love. He's fantastic. I love every scene
Sylvando
he's
is the
in.
best.
He's so good.
All my homies love Sylvando.
I love him so much.
How
He's great.
how many party members can you have, and how many can you have at once?
There are
Standard
8.
4?
There are
battle?
8, and you can have 4 in your party. If all of them get wiped out, then it moves on to the second row. Like, all the others tag in.
Team B, basically.
Basically. There are 8. I know who 7 of them are. And the 8th one is apparently a super fucking big spoiler. So...
It does seem to be classic Dragon Quest to recruit a villain at some point.
yeah.
I assume it's a villain. I have no idea.
JRPGs in general tend to have that at some point as a thing. I still love fucking Magus from Chrono Trigger. He was great.
Yeah.
Starts off fucking great evil villain, and then by the end of the game he's just completely fucking sun. It's great. I love it so much. I love the world design. Like, the first real introduction I got to Dragon Quest XI at all was Super Eye Patch Wolf's video essay, because apparently I watch a fucking lot of those, on Final Fantasy 15 and why the environment doesn't make sense. Because it's big, all open plains, when there's giant monsters that just lurk in the wilderness 5 feet away from every settlement. Compared to Dragon Quest XI, where every city is super fortified because they have the same problem, but react to it reasonably. Like, everything's got gigantic fucking walls around it.
That is to say, they react to it.
Yes. Every location has its own, like, flavor that is... It varies from, like, pretty standard, you know, you get your fucking fantasy Europe town, but then you get the ones that are a little more out there. Like, I just recently got to a city that is basically a complete fucking dome. It's built inside a giant dome, which is really kind of cool because there is one point where you can just sort of wander around the city. You go into this one little building, and then down underneath it, just right on the edge of the map, there is a spot that is just underneath the edge of the dome, so sunlight creeps in. It is a really, really nice touch, because that place is actually an orphanage, so it's where the kids go to play. And it's got just a little bit of greenery where everywhere else is just very just sort of urban. There's no plant life except in that one little spot where sunlight can creep in. It's a really nice touch. I love that kind of thing. Yeah, I've been having a lot of fun with that. It is... I struggle to know how much I'm supposed to grind. That's the one thing that's weird.
I found that I needed to really grind in that game.
Yeah.
As long as I was just fighting enemies regularly, it was pretty much fine.
It just becomes a thing where I just kind of don't for a long time. Then I'm like, I'm not really doing anything till I guess I should fight some things for 5 minutes, and then I just keep going. And just keep playing the game, and it's fine. I don't know whether it was even worthwhile to do that, so it's weird. Yeah, but I'm having great fun with it. I will be glad to continue playing it once I have the time, because I used it all playing that game, and have thus spent all of today doing writing. And will probably do all writing tomorrow as well, and then I can play more. So it's cool. Looking forward to it.
That's all right.
Yeah. But that's pretty much all I got. Like, what else have I done? I fucking Genshin is the same. Fate Go is the same. I somehow blame Patient for my bad rolls because I kept getting the character that happens to be a rabbit, and I'm not happy about it.
Of course.
So, yeah, that's pretty much the end of my week.
Oh, I forgot to mention I deleted the Nier game.
I haven't deleted it, but I haven't played it in like almost a week, I think. In fact, I haven't played it in a week because the last time I played it was the last recording.
Because I don't know, I didn't feel like I know even with the auto thing, I'm not wasting any time. But what I am wasting is I can't look at my phone because it's in auto mode, and I want to look at my phone. I want to actually do something else with my phone.
When I set it to auto, I am in fact wasting my time because I will constantly check, like, is it done yet? No. Only like 2 of 10. All right. Is it done yet? 3? No? Okay. I don't know. 5? Oh, getting close. Okay. About halfway there. Well, now, still 5? Still 5. Okay, let's just wait a bit then. It's fine. I'm patient. I can do this. It's fine. Just leave it alone. 7? Got it. 7. We're moving on. All right. Getting closer. Getting closer. I can better keep a close eye on it so I don't, just waste any time when it finally finishes and runs through 10, because that'd be bad. I don't want to waste any time. That'd be terrible.
That feels like more of a you problem.
It is a me problem, but it's also a game problem because they make it fucking stupid and annoying even when you're doing an auto.
Does it not take a set amount of time? Like I just assumed it would, it will take 5 minutes to do 2 levels or something or whatever.
It takes as long as it takes for the characters to win the fight.
This is why actually there's a feature that is in like Guardian Tales and for games that are a bit grindy like this, where if you can prove that you can like clearly pass the mission that you're trying to do on repeat with relative ease and none of your characters die, then like in Guardian Tales you can choose just sweep it, which means it will just auto clear it a number of times equal to however much stamina you're willing to spend. You get your rewards. There you go.
Yep. The don't waste my time button. I am honestly flabbergasted that there are games that still don't have that.
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, which is the energy-based game I play, has that as well. You just use little credit passes, which I get 4 times of the amount of daily I can actually use.
Yeah. Weirdly enough, Fate Go is the one that goes even worse by not even having an auto mode, let alone a skip mode. But
that's so weird to me. I figured I know they're kind of following the guidelines of the Japanese version, but like they should add it to keep up with other games.
It's a thing with older gacha games, where they don't tend to add that in. Like Grand Blue has an auto mode, but it's not great. For example, and that's like one of the oldest ones. So
is it really laggy or slow, or just the AI is really bad? Or
it's not going to use any of your skills.
Oh, so it's the RPG auto mode where it just uses basic attacks.
It's just basic attacks, right? Which I mean, that'll clear the thing eventually. But
for all the games, it feels like maybe it's a case of the games weren't built for that. So like an auto mode where it plays the game for you doesn't really work. A skip mode probably would, but they don't want to implement that, because if they implement a skip mode, then you don't really have to play the game anymore and might start playing other games. You might start playing those other games and you might start spending money on those other games you could be spending on their game. So that's probably the logic.
Maybe. I I don't know. I think there is like a design philosophy of like the part of the reason why they haven't allowed you to like skip noble phantasms in FGO of just like we want you to see the thing.
Great. You force it to run slowly the first time, so I absolutely have to see the thing. And then you do it at like you chop bits out for the sake of running it faster in future. That means you aren't really that invested in me seeing the whole thing. You just want to waste a few more seconds of my time.
I mean, I've seen and played games where they, like, the second you spent money on the game, it would unlock speed modes. So you could play the game at like 4 times speed or double speed or whatever.
Yeah.
You didn't have to buy anything specific. You just, as long as you spent over a penny on the game, you could do it.
Yeah. Like, as much as it's technically plausible that it is design philosophy, it is still a gacha game. It is still a mobile free-to-play game, which means no matter what, you cannot discount the possibility that the design is based around the fucking Skinner box that it runs on.
Mm-hmm. I think that's definitely part of it. And now
I sound again.
Yeah, when part of your expected gameplay loop is to spend money, it really alters the design of your games.
At the same time, I feel like it's not all just one thing or another. I feel like there's a mix of different reasons why. Like I imagine the game developers who are spending time creating the fancy noble phantasm animations and the other animations are like, but we don't want you just to skip all the work that we did.
Tough.
So
after I've seen it the first time, I've seen it. I don't need to see it 300 times. Like, again, it plays at slow speed the first time for every single servant, so you absolutely, no matter what, have seen it in its entirety at least once. I feel like forcing the player, the customer, to make concessions after that point for the sake of the developer, who again still just kind of want you to spend money on the thing, is a bit much. I'm getting salty. I need to stop.
You are getting pretty salty.
A little bit. One other thing. Fucking Guru played Devil May Cry again, and that made me happy. Yay.
I've been watching I'm almost caught up to being able to actually watch the first episode of their World of Darkness TTRPG.
I have not paid any attention to that at all.
Just need to finish up the last sort of prologue thing, and then I can start actually watching their D&D, not D&D, but their World of Darkness style adventure. It's pretty fun.
That might be a better usage of my time than watching that fucking Doctor Who video for the 8th time. So I might have to.
I mean, if you're still getting enjoyment out of it, then it's not really a waste of time.
You could always watch the Death Stranding video I recommended.
Which one was that?
I linked it before. It's above, I think.
White Light channel?
Yes, White Light.
Okay.
Or any of his other videos, if one of them is a game you've played.
Cool. I apparently am always up for more video essay channels.
It's really good, actually. It's surprisingly investing to watch.
Yeah. Every few months I go back to fucking Lindsay Ellis's channel and watch like the fucking one about Robin Williams playing the genie, and then fucking Hunchback of Notre Dame, and the Pocahontas one / Moana, because they're basically the same film except one is written better. That was a fun watch, by the way. I recommend that one too. Yeah. So, that's my week. I want to say, yeah, it's my week. Slicer, while we have you, because you have technical problems going on.
Yeah, it's been very irritating. I was trying to download that. Part of my week is Diablo 2. I started playing the beta for it. I actually cried a little bit when I put my character's name in. That game means a lot to me, so it was really nice to be able to play a remake of it.
Okay.
It's going well. The game handles great.
Before you continue, boo, hiss, Activision Blizzard. Okay, continue. We got it out of the way.
No, fair. I absolutely fucking hate the company, but the game itself means a lot.
Yeah.
But fuck those companies. The downside of the beta is that I looked it up specifically. The regular game is not online. You can play offline single player, which is great, which is what I did when I owned the game before. The beta is always online. And I mean, I've commented on my connection speed multiple times today. You guys can kind of imagine how that would go playing that online.
Yeah, betas tend not to be like bug hunt endeavors and are more for server testing, so that's why.
This one's a little bit of both. My gold has a habit of disappearing.
Oh, right, it's an Activision Blizzard remaster, so that means it's going to be buggy as fuck with a lot of problems that did not exist in the original. Cool.
This one did not exist in the original, so yeah, yep. It's, hours of grinding gold up, which it's not super important. You just kind of repair your gear with it, and you can gamble on new equipment, which is kind of nice. But yeah, finding it all gone is a little irritating. And then just randomly reappearing 15 minutes later. That was that, and not being able to hit most enemies because my connection speed can't keep up with the game itself is problematic. So I'll just wait till it gets a little better before I start playing the game again. Right. I was going to get the Battle.net launcher on my laptop just to be able to keep up with my Battle.net account because that kind of runs everything. And it is a 4.6 megabyte file. I had to download the file 10 times to get it to work properly because it kept timing out halfway through it. 4.6 megabytes. So irritating. Let's see. I think this is the last time I'm giving Kingdoms of Amalur a serious try. I've bounced off that game so many times, and I just don't like it.
Are you playing the original or the Re-Reckoning?
Re-Reckoning.
Okay. If nothing else, you can love that title.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I really enjoy that, actually, that they did that. I played a sorcerer, which was insanely overpowered. I just invested all of my points into Lightning Bolt, and then everything died. Until it didn't, and then the combat problems started appearing. The combat is so clunky that I can't hit and run like I want to. There's such a weird roll cooldown on your attacks. Like if I throw a Lightning Bolt, I just stand in place for like a full second. I can't then dodge out of the way.
Yeah, this was Gen 6 or 7, I forget what the numbering is, but it was a fucking Xbox 360 game, like originally. It does not have the modern trappings of action RPGs.
I'm not hating it for it, but it makes it unplayable for me. Yeah. Combat became the worst part of the game because as a warlock, I have no health. So if an enemy hits me, I just die, basically. So, yeah, it seems like a really amazing world, really fleshed out. There's a billion side quests, so you can really get attached if you want to. It's just I can't do the combat. So, oh well. I gave it a try. And I'm waiting on Dragon Quest XI to show up, so I too will be able to enjoy the Britishness.
It's so fucking weird.
Yeah, yeah.
It feels like I'm playing a Fable game, but with Dragon Ball designs. It's fucking weird.
I mean, that's basically what it sounds like, yes. Like, everyone looks like they're straight out of Dragon Ball, but they're talking like that, with one sole single American. And I think that's it, actually. I've just done that, and then I've been reading a lot. I found a really good Persona 4 / Persona 5 story.
Dude.
Where, Akira, the Persona 5 protagonist, his parents die right before the events of Persona 4, and the law kind of forgets about him.
Oh, let me guess.
So...
Forearmed? Forewarned?
Oh, yes, Forewarned. That's
I've been keeping up with that franchise. Yeah, it's great. Franchise series. That's the better word for it.
Yeah, it's pretty much done every Persona game up until from 4 to now, basically, including Dancing All Night. Which was nice.
Right, okay, the side games.
Yeah, like Q, Dancing All Night. There are other ones that I'm blanking on right now.
The arena.
But anyway, the law forgets about him. He doesn't know what to do, so he signs up for an exchange program, which puts him with Dojima and Nanako. And then Dojima gets word that his sister has decided that Yu Narukami is going to live with him because Yu's mother is kind of a bitch. So Akira and Yu live in the same room for a year. And then events just kind of happen in sequence, and it's really good, actually. My only complaint is around the time when the author was writing the original story where Persona 4 events are happening, they were dead set on keeping events canon to the point where he would, he or she, I'm not sure what gender the author is, would not let Akira talk to the investigation team. So it really danced around having those people interact.
That feels like a wasted premise. Judging having not read it, in fairness, but still.
It is for a short time. The author thankfully gets over that and does, by around the midpoint of Persona 4, have that happen. And Akira does go to the TV world even while they're avoiding the main cast. It's just he does his own thing. And so, but I mean, by the time the events of Persona 5 happen, he goes into Futaba's dungeon within 2 weeks of landing with Sojiro. So it's not canon. Definitely, it splits off from canon in really satisfying ways.
And
so the author thankfully gets over that.
And the author actually publishes 2 different varieties because they had a thought of what would happen if Akira never actually had to leave Inaba, as in Dojima intervenes with the paperwork and manages to pull a few strings and make it so the person responsible for reporting Akira's assault, the false testimony, doesn't actually testify against him. So yeah, it's an odd take on it, and it ends with a lot of butterflies. I mean, the main story is a lot longer and a lot more fleshed out, but this alternate take on it has a lot of interesting involvements with it as well.
I'm only like 15 chapters into the main story. Should I swap over to read the Stay in Inaba one until I beat that one? Or because the main one's like 320,000 words.
Let Let me see. Let me think about it for a minute. Yeah, no, I don't think you'll have any spoilers to worry about as long as you steer clear of the appropriate author's notes. And the one where he stays in Inaba, that one's on hiatus for a while until the main story has actually gotten a bit more progress. So,
Oh,
you-
okay, gotcha. So get up to date on the main story and then swap over to Stay.
it's just gotten to the point where they finished up the casino.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's my recommendation for this week. I believe the first story is Forewarned and Forearmed.
Forewarned is the name of it.
Oh, it is? I thought that was the... Which one is the Persona 4 events? Is that just Forearmed? Or Forewarned?
It's just Forewarned. Forearmed is when he's actually using the knowledge. Here's a link to all of the fics in the series.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. That. There you go. Oh, hey, Zero. I've been patient. Posted the link. So perfect. Read that if you have a chance and really love Persona. It's genuinely well done, but the beginnings of the Persona 4 story can be frustrating for a little while.
Yeah. But still entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness for Joker's inclusion in Super Smash Bros. Otherwise, I never would have looked into this incredible franchise.
Smash Brothers?
Yes.
Or Persona?
No, Persona.
Persona, yes.
Oh,
Smash
okay.
Bros. Really has that thing where it really gets people into other franchises that normally wouldn't have even looked that direction.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair. Yeah. I was mildly confused because I thought you had already been into Persona and you found Smash Brothers via Persona. So I was...
No.
Wait a second. I need to look something up. Yeah, I might actually blame Smash for Corone's playing Banjo-Kazooie, and thus is responsible for the wonderful meme that is her shouting "Ekum Bokum" constantly. That is the best thing ever. So
I was not aware of that, but that sounds adorable.
That's what happened. That's the sound effect you get every time you pick up one of those silver skulls, the Mumbo tokens.
Yeah.
He goes,
I've heard the sound effect.
Ekum Bokum. It's fucking adorable. I love it so much. VTubers make me want to hug them, and I can't because they're digital and don't exist.
You can get their body pillows.
I'm not going to do that. Everything's gone quiet. Everyone's imagining Corona body pillows.
I don't need to imagine them.
And now for
I've
something completely different.
No, the same thing. I've often thought about what body pillow I would get if I were to get a body pillow, and I'm not sure what kind.
I mean, aren't most of them just like fucking pillowcases on like regular...
Yeah, well, yes. Yeah. It's a double-sided pillowcase. Honestly, it probably wouldn't be a lewd one. It'd be kind of cool to get like Excalibur or a sword or something like that. Kind of cool. And like a Master Sword, maybe.
I
with
mean,
like the Hylian shield on the other side or something.
There's a joke about you holding your sword all night there that I'm just gonna... Oh, wait, no, I can't just move past it because that's the joke. Yep, all right.
True. Joke done.
Hmm.
Good job.
I feel happy about it.
And when it comes to body pillows, they are the joke. There's no way to not make the joke.
Yeah, let's be real. The whole concept of a body pillow is just something to hold when you're alone and lonely at night. That is literally the entire concept. It's not even lewd. It's just, hey, it feels good to hold something while you're sleeping.
I actually have to use one for my knees and shoulders, so I have the medical excuse. So there's that.
This is my medical Calliope Mori body pillow.
Yeah, exactly.
Ignore the fact that she's half naked.
Yes, clearly.
So yeah, that's my week.
Okay, patient, that's your lead-in. Let's go.
Yeah, body pillows.
Well, let's see here. Work is... We're now down to the point where we're having to close branches every week because we don't have enough staff.
Ooh. Like they don't even have enough to keep just one person in the building to keep the window running?
You need to keep at least 2 people in the building to have it open.
Right, safety reasons.
And not all that safe either. My manager, she regularly expresses her concern about there just being 2 people in the building in case, someone decides that they'd like to rob us.
Yeah, pretty much.
That said,
I mean,
they finally seem...
In fairness, even at full crew, do you guys have security guards, or is it just a bunch of cash register people? I mean...
Yeah, no security guards, no.
Oh, so yeah, the difference between 2 and a full crew of 10 people wouldn't really be that different, safety-wise.
All things considered, I suppose not. But yeah, turnover rates have been just too high, and they can't retain enough people because everyone's paying more than them. But, on that note, did I mention a little while back how they were trying to promote me to a new position and were trying to make my pay increase 30 cents an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you did.
Well, yeah. Did I mention how I put in a request to have my salary increased to $15 an hour?
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
They approved it.
Did it work? Oh, good. Okay. It's either that or lose you, so I assume. So.
Yeah, they can't really afford to do that anymore, so...
And did I mention...
Yeah.
Did I mention that they're also bumping up everyone else's salary to around $15 an hour?
I should have asked for more, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
that means they're basically not giving you a raise.
Except that my pay is increasing more on top of that.
Oh, fair enough.
Oh, good. Okay, good. That's how it should be.
Which means that my hourly wage is going up by more than $2 an hour within the space of less than 2 months.
Pretty good.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm reconsidering staying with the company now, short staff issues aside. We'll see how things go.
I mean, it doesn't hurt to look for something new while you're here, and then if they become unbearable again, just jump ship. You don't know them, jack shit.
Yeah. That's the plan. But they do well with the Christmas bonuses. So I'm probably going to try sticking it out at least until the end of the year.
Yeah, it's only 4 months. You can do it.
Yeah. Let's see. I tried the new Pokemon Snap DLC and noticed that they had shown footage from the new Pokemon Snap DLC twice in the initial trailer from that Pokemon Direct.
Oh,
Oh.
okay. Because I remember people mentioning that there was some footage that just never showed up.
It's free DLC, but still, that's a little.
I feel like maybe they rushed it a bit and we're like, oh, we'll just leave that stuff as DLC if
I
it's
mean,
free.
if it's free, what's the harm in it?
Yeah,
Get
it,
oh,
Yeah.
it would be a very different thing if they were charging it.
Yeah, since it's free, it's more like they showed some stuff in a trailer that wasn't done, but they maybe didn't want to be dishonest, so they kept working on it after it was finished. Plus, that would maybe give them a bump in sales well after the
yeah.
game was released.
And I mean, I would be perfectly welcoming if they want to keep giving us more DLC for this game. Uh, they do it very well.
I wouldn't count on it. Like, unless there is more stuff that was only half finished, then I imagine they're going to start charging for it now.
I didn't say more free DLC.
Oh, that's fair.
What would you, if you had to put a price tag on it, what would you feel is fair for the DLC?
I mean, depending on how much they add.
I mean, for this one, I think he's asking.
For this one,
Mm-hmm.
Considering what it gives and a lot of technical things they add in that just make the game run so much more smoothly, I'd say $10, $12 at most. I'd be willing to pay that much. Maybe 15.
Yeah, that's fair. That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, technical things like identifying when a picture that you've taken fulfills one of the requests that you have to fulfill.
Anyway.
All right, moving on from that subject then. I've my girlfriend, who I'm still going strong with, has recently introduced me to a rather enjoyable channel called Viva La Dirt League. They do a lot of satirical videos, skits based on poking fun at certain mechanics in RPGs and MMORPGs.
I think I've seen a couple of their things, actually. They're pretty good.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, very entertaining, I find. And that's interesting because I'm not normally a huge fan of this kind of satire. Aside from that, been focusing on a game on Steam called Kingdom Two Crowns. It's an older sort of game, very enjoyable.
Yeah, I have no idea. That made me think of multiple different games, but I can't say I've heard of that one specifically.
Well, the original version was called Kingdom, then it was a new game called Kingdom New Lands, and then Kingdom Two Crowns is another upgrade of it, basically, with 3 different game modes, plus multiplayer modes. Oh, also, because of Jacksepticeye, I wound up downloading Papers, Please.
That's a certain brand of fun, let's call it.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
That fucking smoke alarm, I swear to God. Yeah. Sorry.
But, yeah, just not much else to remark on besides that. Salmon for dinner with Texas sheet cake for dessert, thin cake with delicious cake, really. Also called Wilma.
I'm so glad I have a little tub of ice cream waiting for me when I'm done. I'm so hungry.
And yeah, not much else to say. So I'll just leave it there.
Have you had any time or motivation to do any writing?
A little on and off here and there. Nothing much in regards to my original works, the projects that I have working on. I've planned out a couple more characters for one of my planned stories, but there's still a lot of work to do before it's even half presentable.
Well, sweet. That sounds nice. I applaud anyone who has the mental energy these days to do anything creative. It's exhausting.
It can be, yes.
I apologize. I have been massively distracted with the idea of building a Pokemon team out of Hololive characters.
Yeah, okay, I could see how that would be a mental exercise.
Yeah.
Do you have a team in mind, or are you still building it?
I think I've got 5. Missing one. I don't know. Anyway.
Well, do you want to take a break from that to give the outro, or
Right,
do we have everything
probably
left?
do that, huh? Yeah, outro.
Unless anyone had any recommendations for anything beyond the Viva La Dirt and Forewarned? Whatever.
Well, my recommendation is that you go to the Patreon if you'd like to get in touch with us, and
that's not how that works. You go to the Patreon if you
Close.
want to donate, and
You try.
Discord with the contacting stuff. And well, no one really cares, but you can go and hang out and stuff.
And join the Discord. We got a lot of crazy people there.
and wrap it.
I'm gonna kill my neighbor, man. I'm gonna fucking kill him. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's justifiable. That'll hold up in court.
Just take a mallet to the smoke alarm.
That doesn't turn it off.
Or a mallet to your neighbor. One or the other.